Guess what? I'm 45 years old, everybody. Welcome to the comment section.
Happy birthday. Oh my gosh, Shirley, happy birthday.
Thank you. I am
Yes.
45. Welcome back, you guys. It is another episode of the comment section. I am Shirley Ann Phillips III.
And I am your boy, Fox Baldwin. I'm
You
Fox
guys have a
Baldwin
delay.
today.
Can you guys hear us?
No,
Thumbs up?
I can hear you fine, yeah.
Hear me? Okay.
Can you hear
We're
me?
back, guys. I can hear you, but I'm getting a little bit of feedback, but it's okay. But we're back, everybody.
Give me a second.
We did have our 2-week hiatus, but we are back. A little bit of a difference in format. We have shortened time, so we're gonna do less commercials, more talking, and we get to have more guests or more time with our guests. So our guest today is Mr. Tony Anthony, Detroit radio legend, icon, the man, the myth. The incomparable Tony Anthony. How are you today, sir?
I'm good. You so kind. I'm good. I'm blessed.
I'm far too kind.
Yeah.
Blessed to be here. Listen,
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. Emmanuel got his first introduction to Detroit yesterday. He hung out with myself and some friends, and he was a little. What's the word? What word would you say? A little what?
Well, I was entertained for sure. I just love their energy.
It's different. Right?
I noticed their accent first of all, and I said it to them. I was like, "You guys have an accent," and they were like, "Accent." I thought I was gonna get beat up, but they didn't. They were.
You know what? I can't. Everybody thinks that Detroit girls have we carry knives in our socks and stuff. We really don't.
That's a reputation, right? That you guys have because you're straight shooters.
We're straight shooters.
Right.
You're straight shooters. Right. And I love it. So Shirley's friends were in town for Shirley's birthday, and it was as if I was hanging out with my own friends and family. It was all love, and they were wonderful. I'm sure they had a great time. I hope they had a great time.
They had a great time. New York is it's culture shock. So even New York radio, Detroit radio, the things that it's different. It's not a culture clash necessarily, but we're just very different people, and we operate from a different modus operandi. So even with Tony, how has Detroit changed? You've been in radio a long time.
It depends. We always got this reputation that we're killers and criminals and things like that. but in all actuality, it's more like a family knit. If you're not from here, we don't know you, so we're like, hey, step off. But once you get that family feel, once you get your knit, we're okay. You just, we're just like anybody else. It's outsiders coming in who don't know us, that type of thing. But I think, Detroit really get a bad deal every time.
Right.
And we're not as bad.
We're not as bad, but it's there's some truth. There's some truth there, but we're not as bad as people make us out to be. We're not all 6 Mile and Gratiot, 8 Mile. We're not all that. So
Shirley, if people from Detroit could be a zodiac sign, what zodiac sign would they be?
They would be I'm gonna say Aries. I'm gonna go with Aries.
Yeah. I don't believe in that, but what I did, you should think of that stuff. I guess I'm born in April, so Aries. They say I'm loving until you cross me. So
yes.
So,
get it how you live. That's the motto. Get it how you live. You're nice to me, I'm nice to you. You know what I'm saying? You got a problem with me, I got a problem too. But anyway, we are talking today. I brought you here. You literally ran across my Tony and I go way back, many moons ago. So much so that he had to remind me of when we first actually met, because I'm 45 now, so my memory is leaving me. I just remember that I had so much respect for him, just career-wise, because he's been doing this quite a while, and as a long time. That's why I'm like, it's you're like a relic that you're still even doing radio with like social media and all this other, you know, these other methods that you could be using to communicate your, you know. Tell us about what are some of the good things and the bad things about how radio has evolved? Things that you like and things that maybe you're kind of annoyed with.
Radio, you know, to say it evolved in a different way. I can tell you what I do like is this. It's opened up the door. Internet, the technology has opened up the door for anyone to do radio. Just ask yourself. You're doing podcasts. You're doing there's YouTube videos. There's so many ways. So it's not just you have to be a certain person that'll get this type of job. What I don't like is now that they took away a lot of the money. They took away a lot of the way things used to be, where corporate America has took over. And so now it opens up the door for you to be more creative. I had to be more creative. They kind of stole the space where I was at. And well, basically they leaked the signal. And so everybody lost their job. So I had to be creative.
Wow.
And so I had to create basically I had to create my own station online and things like that. And that took a while to promote it, to get people to listen, things like that. And I got frustrated. So I stepped away from radio for a few years and came back. And I came back, but then I came back to where I was just a producer. And then Radio One, they called me for a job, but then they wanted to play games with me. And I thought that my reputation should speak for itself. I shouldn't go and say, okay, why do I need a job, this and that and the other? With my reputation, my resume should speak for itself. So I didn't play that game. I said, you know what? If you want me, fine. If you don't, I'm done. And so I wind up going somewhere else. And I'm producing now on the behind the scenes. But radio has changed. But it opened up the door for anyone to do it. Now that's good, and then that's bad. And when I say that's bad, it's to the sense that people that have years experience in this, now you have everybody and their great grandmama is doing something.
Everybody's an expert.
Everybody's an expert. So that's where you have to, you know, balance it out. But it's good that everyone has a platform. Everyone can have their say and their opinions and can do anything. It just depends on what are you doing. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it trash? That sort of thing. So, you know, that's basically what it is.
So what I'm hearing a little bit of feedback. Are you guys hearing me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I hear you.
All right. It's kind of like an echo for me.
Yeah, there's a slight echo, but
Charles, can you do whatever you did earlier? Stop that because I can't hear.
I hear you fine over here.
All right.
Do you hear an echo when I speak?
Nope.
Yeah, you guys got here an echo, but I'll try to work. But what I was going to say was, by having such an influence in media.
Yeah, I only hear echo when Shirley speaks.
All right, hold
So
on.
it's something on your side, Shirley.
Emmanuel.
Charles, do you hear an echo when I speak?
Nope, you guys are good.
Okay. So
maybe
I wait, Shirley, you're fine now.
All right, let me move my technology away because that might be causing it. Okay.
These are
Well,
some of the problems with technology, you know.
No, that is it's annoying. But what I'm saying is he's such he has the tenure, he has the experience, and you would think that seniority would give you a certain amount of like bargaining power. Like, why do I have to go through the same rituals and the same procedures as somebody fresh off the, you know, out of school or someone that has no experience? We're not on the same level. And there's just like no respect for that. But what I was saying with you is I came across my mind the other day and I just happened to like, let me see what Tony's doing to make sure he's still, you know, in the game. And then I saw, you know, some of the health issues that you were having. And I was wondering how you were planning to use your medium to communicate what we need to do as people, particularly what men need to do, men of color need to do to try to supersede some of the health issues that you guys are having. So I wanted to talk to you today, Emmanuel and I both wanted to talk to you today about what it is you've experienced, because I want to give you an opportunity to tell your story, and how are you planning to use your medium to, to be of service to others in regards to that.
I'm glad you asked me that. It's funny, about, what's this, 2019, late 2019. My family, my wife, I didn't tell you I was married. My wife, my mom, they kept bugging me about getting a colonoscopy. And I always kind of value myself as kind of healthy, because 10 years ago, I decided to become a vegetarian, plant-based, and I was doing what I thought I was doing correctly. And when they say, they always said that when you get 50, you're supposed to get a colonoscopy. And I thought, well, I was one of those brothers, like, I ain't going to no doctor. They ain't going to be sticking nothing in me and all that. I ain't doing it.
I'm not doing it. Right.
I ain't doing it. And so I kept that mentality. Well, this particular day, I had, for my job where I'm at, we have this thing called Vitality, where you get this blood test, and if your blood work come back good, your insurance will stay low and things like that. Well, they said that my sugar, about a year prior to that, they said my sugar level went up to about 220 or 212, something like that.
Wow.
And
that's high.
Yeah, it was hard. Yeah. So they said I was diabetic. I was like, no, I'm not even going to claim it.
Oh, wow.
So I started working on my way, bringing it down. When I went and got checked up, my blood level went down to 131. And so I was very excited about that. I was like, okay, I brought it down. So I had decided that I was going to go ahead for 2020, go ahead and get the colonoscopy. And when that comes back good, then I'm going to really go out, because I was planning on getting my PhD in original medicine. And me and my wife were going to do that. So I went, come 2020, I go in, I do it. They tell me they found something.
Oh, God.
And I got a call. They said they found 4 polyps. One was cancer. They cut 3 out and 1 was cancer. So at this point, I'm still kind of numb, because I never thought I would have cancer.
Right.
But my mom, she had breast cancer 30 years ago. She's a survivor. My father, he died of cancer, and my grandfather died of cancer. So, 10 years ago, I decided to try to beat that punch. So I didn't want to catch it, but I caught it. But anyway, they said, well, you got to come out, this and that and the other. I said, well, can't you just cut it out and I'll be good? They said, yeah. So we arranged for the operation. They went in, long story short, they went in, they cut it out. And I was in the hospital for about 3-4 days. And I left, went home for recovery. And 2 weeks later, I went back in for them to take the staples out. And they said that my cancer traveled to the lymph node, and I was stage 3.
Oh, Jesus.
And I needed chemo and radiation right away. So right then and there, I looked at them, I said, no, I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it.
Nope, not doing it. Because I know what radiation do. Let me tell you something. When a doctor tells you that you got cancer, that makes your whole mind, once you get over that shock,
Your
it
mindset.
gets your whole mind to thinking, okay, I could fight it, I could beat it. Now I was thinking, I heard a lot of people say that, and they wind up leaving this
That's
world.
right.
So I decided that God, I always had a relationship with him. I said, God, what is this? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try to fight it. You help me. But if I do have to die, don't let my death be in vain.
That's right.
And so let someone, let this help someone. But at the same time, didn't you already send Jesus to do this already?
That's
So
right.
you ain't got to use like that. Don't. So I then started working on my way to try to fight it.
Right.
And so I was thinking about my family, my sisters, and everybody, the wife, and all that. And so when I told them, they were feeling bad and sad and all that, but I'm like, look, stop crying. You're going to fight. So he said that he told me to do this chemo radiation. I told him I wasn't. He got upset and started saying that he wasn't a liar. I never called the doctor a liar. I just said, you told me that you got everything out. Now you telling me I got cancer. I'm not doing no
Right.
chemo or radiation. So when he started saying that he's not a liar and he was getting bold with it, then my wife, we just looked at each other and we was like, something ain't right here.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to go my own way and go holistic. I wind up.
Let me ask you this before you
Go ahead.
continue. Let me ask you this because this has also been a big topic of discussion. What ethnicity was your doctor?
He was. He wasn't a brother. I know that. He maybe Greek or Arab. I'm not really sure.
But he wasn't a black
brother.
man or Hispanic
No.
man or any. He wasn't okay.
No.
Because I'm hearing a lot of people say that they get a lot of insensitivity and a lot of misdiagnoses from doctors that are not people of color. A lot of
Right.
it's like they go in and they say they can sense that the doctor is just kind of apathetic to their situation or that they're trying to push unnecessary medications and unnecessary treatments on them because they're black. And it sounds like you may have experienced that. Yeah.
I believe that because let me tell you, I didn't have no symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
When they say that symptoms from colon cancer, that's what the cancer they said I had. Symptoms I have a colon cancer is changing bowel movements, blood in stool, stuff like that. I didn't have none of that. Okay.
You didn't have that.
It wasn't. I didn't have that. It wasn't until after the colonoscopy I started seeing things, and so
really,
yeah. And the thing is, I should have went and got a second opinion. I did.
That's right.
And they always get a second opinion, even if third opinion if need be. But I didn't. But I wind up going out of town where my church denomination had this thing called what they call that
Treat.
It's a treatment center. And I wound up going there. When I got there, first thing they did was give me plant-based food, bunch of juices, and these different treatments like steam bath and these they call this thing enemas, which I really don't want to talk about.
Well, look, my mom used to make me do an enema once a month when I was a kid because of all the junk food that enema lives matter. Listen.
Yeah, it's very basic, but I guess it works.
It works.
But they were doing all of that. And in 10 days, I was there 10 days. Let me tell you something. The last day I was there, they had these doctors come in and I told them my story and they wanted to do a CEA test. It's a test for cancer for that particular type of cancer. When they did it, they said a person with the same cancer that smoked, their numbers would have been a 5.0. A non-smoker, 2.5. My number was 0.05.
What?
They said I had low to no cancer in my body. Now I'm thinking, one, thank you God for the miracle. Two, somebody screwed up in the lab. Or three, they just was trying to kill a brother.
They were trying to kill you.
Yeah. So, they cut my colon, they shortened it a little bit to claim they got the cancer out and all this other stuff. And so I was so happy when I got back home. So when I got back, I said, I'm not going back to that doctor. I kept the regimen going with the type of foods, the type of vitamins I was taking and things like that. This guy called me and said, hey, we need you to come back in so we, keep close eye. I said, look, man, I went to another doctor. They found no cancer in me. I don't know what you did. He said, well, I told you I cut it up. I said, no, you told me I still had it in my lymph.
I still had it. That's right.
So, no, I'm not coming back. I'm going a different route. And I ain't hear from him no more. And see, my thing is, I still have a little bit of doubt with doctors, but at the same time, I just had to let God lead.
That's right.
Because I didn't really know for sure. But I knew that God was the first one that ever did an operation. And if you know your Bible, remember when he put Adam to sleep, he operated on Adam, take a rib and made one.
That's right.
And so I trusted that part. So I went to another doctor. I found a sister. It wasn't it wasn't too many brothers I could find. I found a sister.
Such a problem, right?
Yeah. And we really need to find people like us. You
Right.
really do. And I found a sister, and I told her the situation, and she said, well, she got like 15 years experience, still fairly young, a little younger than me, but I started to trust her and told her, and I told her everything I went through, and so she understood, and so I let her be my doctor for the colon cancer, to try to make sure everything is still good.
That's
And
right.
and now what I do is I tell brothers, this is what they didn't tell me. I should have got a colonoscopy when I was 40.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But they said now they're saying African Americans should start at 40 something, maybe even a little bit earlier, so they can test things. And so I tell brothers now, man, go get it. Just make sure you're okay. If there's something, they can cut it out. But you don't want anything festering you. And what
Right.
happens is when you get cancer, you start to educate yourself on
That's right.
so many things. No, I'm not an expert, I'm not a doctor, but I know a lot about this cancer. And
Mhm.
I know that cancer can be beat. You can beat it.
It
But
can be.
yeah. And it starts with the diet.
It starts with the diet, and what I am frustrated, and it's not just black men or black and brown men. It's men in general frustrate me because you guys, not everybody, but you tend to have this idea of, I have to eat meat. I have to, nobody's gonna tell me what to eat. Nobody's gonna tell me what to do. I don't want anybody poking around, in my backside, blah blah blah. And then once you get these illnesses, then it's like, oh my God, what do I do? And it's like, why are we always just, living on the edge, pushing the envelope, and you wait until you're in the 12th hour to, like you said, attend to things that could have been easily prevented. We're not reading. We're not reading. Simple reading.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows it is 2021. If you don't know by now that it's sugar, meat, fats, inactivity, those are the four reasons people develop, like you said, cancer, polyps. These things are easily preventable. You can change. You can literally change your body's chemistry and your overall health. Literally within a week, 2 weeks, you will start to see and feel a difference. And my question to you, and then I'm going to let Emmanuel address. Actually, we're going to take a break in about 2 minutes. What's something that someone can do, a man right now, today, that says, you know what, I want to change my life. I don't want to end up, with this type of situation. What's something that they can do today or tomorrow morning to get themselves on the right track?
They can start by detox. They can start by cutting back on sugar. Get up and move. Walk. Do something. Don't just sit there. Because the more you move, the more you can burn. You get in your body exercise. If you do 30 minutes of walking and increase that gradually, walking does so much wonder to the body. So you got to do something. Get up and move.
That's right. Get up and move. Number one. And in terms of the meat, there's so many. First of all, after like the third day of no meat, you develop almost like a resistance to it. You don't even want it. You don't miss it. Right. You start to get repulsed by the smell. Like, I don't eat meat per se. I do eat fish. I'm even trying to cut back on that. But I haven't had beef in probably about going on 10 years or so. I don't do beef. Chicken, every blue moon I'll have a piece of chicken, but I don't like the meat anymore, and it repulses me when I walk by and I smell it. I would say start with like a meatless Monday type situation. And just
that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, but for you, Tony, what would you say? You said you're plant-based.
Yes.
I'm assuming you're a non-smoker.
Yes. Never smoke, never drink.
Don't smoke, don't drink, and get moving. Okay. So we're gonna take a quick break, and then I have a couple of other questions, and I'm gonna let Emmanuel have the floor. I'm over.
Oh, I have so many questions, so get ready for mine.
As a brown man, I know you have questions. We're going to take a quick break, you guys. We'll be right back with the comment section. Oh my God, there's that girl. Where? Hello, right there.
That's inside.
Oh, that girl. She thinks she's all that. I've heard some stuff all around. I mean, just look at her.
Drown your face in the crowd.
Doesn't she know nobody wants her here? Even her own mother wants her. She should just stay home or die with her. Even her boyfriend nothing but the other one. I would too. Hashtag loser.
Tomorrow brings another pain, another strain I can't bear. Feels like it's never gonna stop. Push too hard, not too far. You can run, but you.
The suicide of a teenage girl in British Columbia is drawing attention tonight to the issue of bullying. Before she died, she chronicled online what she'd endured. Now, as Duncan McHugh reports, much of the response is also appearing online.
Bullying and suicide has been a great issue on today's world. But what would happen if we would have stopped what's happening and became friends with the person being bullied? Maybe the results would have been different. Let's watch this video again, but this time, let's stop this and see what happens.
Oh, that girl. She thinks she's all that. I've heard some stuff all around. I mean, just look at her. Thank you, everyone.
Damn.
Coming back. Oh, wait. We're back with the echo.
I was gonna say this audience claps hard.
Like
Our claps are so loud.
My prediction is that we're gonna be back in the studio next time because I can't. My attention deficit will not allow. I can't do this echo.
Oh, the echo.
I can't take it. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, with an
echo is
echo. So I hear you twice.
Charles, fix it.
Oh,
Mom
it's better, I
special
think.
needs. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, that's better. That's better.
All right, we're good.
All right,
We're
so-
good.
Question. Doctors, I think I say his name right. Is it Dr. Sebi? Dr. Sebi? I think I always say this.
Sebi.
Is Dr. Sebi? I used to watch videos many moons ago, and he was very adamant about having already cured or found a cure for cancer, AIDS, just about any illness, diabetes. He had a remedy, a plant-based, and he had testimonies of people who had literally been cured of cancer. Like, I was stage 4, I did A, B, C, and D, I did what he said do, and now I'm cancer-free. Have you found an elixir? Have you found any type of a, concoction that someone could do themselves, whether it was on, the lines of a Dr. Sebi type protocol, or whether it's something that you just found from research, something that men could do immediately to take? To remedy.
This for me or for
Just for yourself or in general, something that.
Yes, there are some things you could do. I'm into preventative measures. So there's some Paul Diarco, that's a tea or powder form you could drink. To prevent,
What does that do?
that we always Paul Diarco, Arco. And it's a tea or a powder drink you can mix together, and you can drink it. It's supposed to fight cancer cells.
Okay.
There is my mom who had breast cancer. She juiced carrot juice, and the carrot juice, and then she drank it, and it still, she didn't do no operation or anything. She's still here. Okay.
You juice your own carrots?
Yes. Yes. Use your own organic carrots.
Okay.
So there are things you can do. Lots of fruit, organic fruit, and vegetables. Very, very important. And exercise. The key is in the diet.
Yes.
When you're organic fruits and vegetables and lots of greens, lots of raw food. You talk about, they call it cruciferous food. Broccoli, raw broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, spinach. What is it? What else? what's the other one? What's the other spinach? The green.
Kale.
Kale. I just had
Mm.
to kale. Those are things that that's just the beginning. There's so many other herbs that you
Mm-hmm.
can do to prevent them. Now, let's say you did have it. First, I got to put a disclaimer: I'm not a doctor, okay? But there are some things that you can do. And but the first thing you would do, one, have a spiritual life. Two, ask God for everything. Two, clean out your system.
Yeah.
Detox. Detox is the key. Okay, because I found out in my research there's 5 things that your cell must have. The first is oxygen, water, nutrients, eliminate waste, and keep poison out. Those 5 things. If you do those things, you can stay healthy. Okay.
That's right.
Now the thing is, with sugar, is so much deadlier than meat.
Yeah.
When I found out that I was pre-diabetic and diabetic, I started pushing away. I started taking these different vitamins that will lower your blood sugar, exercising, and good water. Not all water is good water.
That's right.
Okay, because I did alkaline, I did hydrogen water, which I still do. Hydrogen water is nothing more than an extra molecule of hydrogen in your water, and it helps balance your sugar level, clean your system, skin, all of that. So there's lots of things to do. You just have to stay educated and research all things, and then watch what you eat. They put sugar in everything now.
It's in everything.
Label, yeah, you have to read the label.
It's in everything, and I want people to know, especially women. Women get caught up in the sugar-free and this isn't real sugar. Sucralose, aspartame, saccharin. That stuff is like drink. You might as well just drink a glass of bleach. That stuff will kill you.
Exactly.
And you'd be better off just having the regular honey or the couple tablespoons of regular sugar before you eat or drink those chemicals. So please stay away, guys, from the sugar-free.
Right.
First, they said sucralose actually causes blood cancer. Sucralose is in the like the Splenda, the diet sodas, the what's the other one? The little drink, Crystal Light, all the things that women like to drink to think that they're being healthy, but that's the quickest way to get cancer is through sugar substitutes. So please,
you have to watch those things. Like I use either stevia or monk fruit.
Yes,
okay.
I use monk
fruit. It's like you have all the good things. It's like, remember Blade, the movie Blade?
Yes.
It's like
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley had all the traits of the vampire, except all the bad traits. He didn't want to eat everybody. So monk fruit have all the good traits of sugar, except you won't get the bad stuff.
That's right.
Look into that.
I love my monk fruit. I don't know what I would do without my monk fruit sweetener. It makes everything better. And you just mentioned Brussels sprouts. I used to hate Brussels sprouts when I was little because of the way my mother prepared them. But now, you put the olive oil, you grill them, you put your monk fruit, spices. It is delicious. And
it's so good for you.
So good. Yeah. Emmanuel, please tell me, what questions did you have, Emmanuel? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I have a lot of questions about this, especially because I feel that there is so much information out there coming from various sources. So when the information overload that hits most people is oversaturating our daily lives, right? Like we hear from this person that you shouldn't eat this, or from this doctor that you should follow this diet, but then somebody else a few years later kind of contradicts that. So like we are constantly like having to change up the manner in which we eat and we adjust our diets, right? Why is it that a lot of these products, for example, aspartame, right? Sucralose, like why are all these toxins that are known to cause diseases, and we know that they're toxic to certain bodies as well, why are they out there? Why is there no regulation against them?
You know what? I'm glad you asked me that, because I was just talking, I was telling my wife earlier that, it's kind of funny to me how they know all this stuff that they put in different foods and all these chemicals. There's some type of
agenda
where you eat this stuff. What happens when you get sick? Okay, put it this way. When the natural black guys or men don't want to go to the doctor, but they'll go to the doctor at the very last moment. Okay. Then when you go to the doctor, they tell you all this stuff, and you put all your trust in these doctors. Now you're on their medication, on their drugs. Okay. They get money. The drug companies get money for all this and all this other stuff. They keep you on it. And then what happens if you die? The funeral business get money and all that.
Absolutely.
So it's like a vicious cycle going on. Okay? They already want to depopulate the world. But who would they rather start with? Black folk. Now, I don't want to get too in the racist thing about it, but it really looks like that way, though. You know,
Yeah.
and I think they know that because it's all about money to them. The
Mhm.
drugs, it's $1 billion business
Billion
with the
dollar.
drug company. $1 billion. And so they don't want doctors to heal, they want them to treat. Treating is not killing. Okay? When you treat it, they got to still take the medication, the Medicaid. They charge the Medicaid, Medicare, all that stuff. And it's a vicious cycle.
That's
that goes
such a crime against humanity,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
I mean, they should all be held accountable. I feel like the number one problem that's wrong with the world right now is the greed from these corporations, because they are taking advantage of vulnerable people,
Yeah.
right? Who feel like they have no other choice.
Mhm.
And not many are aware of the fact that holistic diets and holistic approaches to medicine could actually
Right.
cure them. So if it was somebody else in your position, right? And I'm sure there are many people who go to a doctor, they get diagnosed with whatever disease, right, or illness, and then the next step is for them to start that treatment,
Right.
right? And they feel like it's the only option they have. And it's just it's sick, right? And what I wanted to know from you as well, and this is, you can simply give us your opinion about this, but in regards to what's going on with COVID right now, and how we have 3 vaccines that are out and are, all of them are starting to like really pick up steam in regards to how many people are taking them, right? I'm really, myself personally, I'm very skeptical. I know a lot of people of color, especially Black people in this country, based on the history of medicine being used against our people, right, for centuries. We are also very, very skeptical because of that tidbit,
Mhm.
right? But what would you say to somebody who is in my position, right, who is skeptical about the vaccine? Should I feel guilty for not wanting to get it? Should I be made to feel like I'm not contributing positively to society? Because there's a lot of that going on right now,
Yeah,
where people are they're shaming us, basically.
they are.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you, be honest. I'm straight up with you. I feel just the way you feel, but at the same time, I don't trust the government. I don't trust a lot of doctors. I mean, there's a certain level that I have to trust them, but at the same time, when you talk about the COVID thing, no, because for one, it took years. When they do stuff, it takes them years to develop a vaccine. Now they're coming up these vaccines in months. So one, I don't trust. Two, you can build your own immune system. Okay, I build my own immune system. I don't trust the vaccine, so I'm not taking it. I'm not. It's up to you what your decision is. But I'm not taking it because I don't trust it. Just like the flu, when they're the flu vaccine, they inject you with the flu. They're hoping your immune system builds to fight against it and all that. Well, what I'm hearing in my research is they inject you with the COVID. They're hoping your immune system will fight the COVID off. So I'm not.
Keyword is hoping.
Yeah.
Right.
And there have been cases where people have died taking the vaccine. There have been cases where people have died taking the test. There have been cases. I just had my colonoscopy last Monday. Before that, they had to move it because the hospital wanted to test me for the COVID. I didn't trust them. They want to stick that thing up your nose, hit your brain. I'm not doing none of that. So this other hospital, they said they don't have to do that, and I went and got it done. Now, this past Monday, they found 2 polyps that were real small, and they cut them, and I'm good. But I will build my own immune system. There's plenty of things out here. That's why we have to continue to educate ourselves. I've taken elderberry, zinc, ginger, I've taken what they call
Oh, ginger is amazing.
ginger is amazing. It's what's the other one? Turmeric. All of that stuff.
Yes.
There's so many herbs out there you can take to build your immune system and keep your immune system strong against all kinds of diseases.
That's
But
right.
we have to educate ourselves, and we're not educating ourselves. And that's where, especially of people of color, we got to start doing this for ourselves. Because if you're like me, if you don't trust the doctors too much, I'm educating myself.
That's
I'm
right.
learning. I'm reading. I'm researching. I'm asking questions. And I tell people, and like I said, I'm trying to go ahead and start getting my PhD in original medicine because I want to tell people and help people and use the radio as a platform on any platform I can to educate people,
That's
you
right.
know?
I think
And so
that's
that's what we have to
important.
do.
Then they need, I'm saying they, when I say they, I'm talking again about men of color. They need to hear it from other men of color to receive it, because a man, piggyback off of what Emmanuel said, he said it's an injustice to humanity to keep this information from people that are marginalized and are not reading and don't know that they can heal themselves. But at the same time,
Right.
we have to stop pointing the finger. Books are available to everyone. YouTube is available
Yes.
to everyone. We need to start reading. The information is there. And as my dad used to say, if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book.
That's right. Very
People are
true.
not educating themselves. And it's like, at some point, you have to own that. The onus is on you. If they're telling you that A, B, C, and D causes cancer, and you still continue to do A, B, C, and D, whose fault is it? You can't keep blaming the man on that. So I
Let me tell you
appreciate
this.
you.
Let me say this real quick. My grandfather was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and we had got him some treatment holistically. He came back home. He was gone for a month. He came home. He was clear. His body was healed. But the problem was mentally, he didn't want to let go of his old ways.
That's
He
right.
died 2 years later. He
Yeah.
went back to eat pork and all this other stuff, and he died.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, when I knew what happened to me and I got healed, I didn't go back to my old ways. I
That's
watched the sugar, watched the
Mm.
bread. I was doing a lot of postures
That's right.
and all this other stuff. And so you can't go back to that because when you ever heard a person who beat cancer, then cancer came back and they come back with vengeance.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that, allow that to happen. So you have to really fight that. And the research is key. Research is key. Study and learn.
Studying
You know
it,
what?
and your,
You
like,
know-
your mentality.
What I'm afraid of with
Yeah.
that though is and this is something we spoke about on the show the last time, Shirley. We were talking to I'm a Pound Cake, remember, about like the textbooks that are out there, right? And we were talking about how a lot of the information that is being fed to people and to doctors, people who are currently in medical school, science students in colleges, and even in high schools, are written by these corporations that want to perpetuate a certain message or view about medicine, right? So a lot of doctors don't specialize in holistic medicine, or they don't know enough about it because it's not being taught to them in medical school.
Yeah.
Because in medical school, they want to feed the pockets of the corporations, the pharmaceutical companies, the money-making machines at the top, right? So the message about holistic medicine is not out there enough. And I worry that a lot of people who, even like doctors, right, they're just feeding out the message that is going to like benefit these companies as opposed to truly saving lives, because it's the only way they know.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you say you're studying medicine for your PhD, I'm just thinking like, damn, are there even programs at these like fancy medical schools or universities that offer that type of study,
Medicine.
right? Or is it looked down upon? Because I remember Dr. Sebi, he was preaching a lot of this holistic approach, and the medical community was completely outraged by his approach, right? All these companies basically like they brought his reputation down to the ground because they didn't want somebody going against the system as
They
it
even
was.
snatched down his videos. A lot of those videos that I used to see, they're no longer online.
Yeah, no, and I used to watch his videos too, and there's nothing, and they call him a conspiracy theorist. Like there's not enough proof. They say that he's not really a doctor. I mean, there's a campaign to completely eliminate his preachings,
Mm-hmm.
and I just like everything goes back to capitalism.
Yeah, me personally, I think they killed him. They allowed him to die. You know, wherever he was out of the country, and
He was in
like,
Honduras.
yeah,
In Honduras, yeah.
they said he had like $30,000 on it. He didn't declare it or something like that. And
So they
he
put him
wound
in
up,
jail, right?
put him in jail, and I think what was it, 3 days later he died or something.
Yeah.
And it's a conspiracy around that. I really think they had him killed.
Of
But
course.
a lot of doctors that tells you that when they write books and they tell you that you don't need all this medicine and you can go holistic, they wind up dying.
Yeah.
They wind up either dead mysteriously. Okay. And so yes, there are some schools out there you have to research them to go to ones that there's a school that I'm trying to get into, IIOM, International, what's the other one? Of original medicine. But they specialize in just holistic. And they're not accredited
I love it.
according to
Of
the
course not.
United States credentials, but they're accredited where you can get licensed from drugless practitioners. And so there are some things that you can do. But this is key. I really believe there's a conspiracy because of the money. Big Pharma don't want you to know. You know, there are a lot of videos out there with forks over knives that tells you how what was it? One guy, he had all these stuff messed up and he started juicing everything. He lost like 30, 40 pounds and got better. There's different documentaries out there. They put it out there. So it's out there. You just got to go out there and look at it and research and get it. Get it for ourselves.
If you look at the sounds unrelated, but Lisa Lefta Lopez from TLC. She did this whole pilgrimage to Honduras. She would do it a couple times a year. And, you know, she just started distancing herself just from like America because she's like, this is the truth. I'm getting healed mentally, physically, spiritually. And she was coming back. Her purpose was to come back to the States, you know, right before she got killed in Honduras, mysteriously in a car crash, quote unquote. She was coming to preach Dr. Sebi's teachings to people. She's like, I want to heal people. Like this can heal children, mothers, fathers, Black people, white people. That was her mission. And then boom, she's no longer with us.
Same thing with Nipsey Hussle.
Nipsey Hussle, he had a whole plan.
He was working on a documentary,
Yeah, and these people end up dead. And it's like, dude, this is not coincidence. It's very scary. And, you know, having recently lost someone to illness unexpectedly, I lost my best friend to COVID, you know, it's real. And I really wish people would stop waiting until you have all these symptoms and you're now desperate, you know, to live when you could have done preventative practice from day one. I really need people to stop doing that and wake up because COVID is not a scam. It is real. Whether it was invented in a lab or not, it's real and it is killing people. So please stop telling people that it is not real. It is very much real. So we have a couple of minutes left. Last words, Tony. What do you want everyone to know right now before you leave out of here? What's imperative?
It's imperative to take care of yourself. Preventative measures. If you don't have anything, if you're fairly healthy, start to take your health. Your health is your best wealth, and that's key. You can't buy good health, so you have to do the things that help. As you get older, your body and the foods that we eat, the ground is depleted, the soil is depleted, and so we have to really do. You have to take care of yourself. Follow your own instinct. And research a lot. You know, so many people, they trust their doctors, they trust the government. I don't. I really don't. And so I look, I read, I study, and I try different things. And there's so much education. You'll never know everything. You just have to stay educated. And so
what do you advise us with these children? I work with kids, Emmanuel works with kids, and the diet, you know, the flaming hot Cheetos for breakfast and, you know, now and laters for lunch. How do we get through to these children? Because they don't care. They're not listening. They think that this doesn't apply to them. What should we do to encourage our children to also start thinking about what they're eating and what they're, how they're behaving.
I think be an example. Be an example. If you're talking like teenagers and young adults, you have to be an example. Now they're finding cases where a lot of young people are getting these different diseases. Diabetes. Diabetes can be reversed. They don't tell you that. They want to get you on this insulin shot, but that can be reversed.
That's right.
The sugar is more, we have to let folks know sugar is much more deadly. I'm still fighting sugar to stay away from it because it's hidden and not everything. And so we have to just do these things, be an example to the young people. Parents have to, you raise a child up, in a certain way. Some people don't want to raise their children in a certain type of food and say they have started as a child as a vegetarian. We have to start incorporate these things in our lifestyle. It's a lifestyle change. It's not something
It is a
that
lifestyle
you do now and go back to. That's a lifestyle change. So
I would also, ladies, mothers, please get this out of your head that your child needs milk. Unless you gave birth to a baby cow, your baby doesn't need milk from a cow. You're not a cow. Please eliminate the milk and dairy from the children's diet, please. You are not supposed to have mucus. It's not running out of your nose. That means your child is sick. Please. I mean, can we start with that? Cheese, milk, this stuff is not supposed to be consumed. And that's why you're seeing the uprising in the asthma, the ADHD. Like you said, the kids are becoming diabetic because they're eating pure poison. And I don't know how
there's all kind of milks out there. Almond milk, rice milk, coconut milk. There's all kind of milk you can use instead of cow milk. Not good for consumption.
So much variety.
I don't know. Tony, thank you so much. Emmanuel, you have any last words?
This was great. I just want to say thank you. No, for real, thank you for being on and thank you for doing the work that you're doing. And I really hope that, everything in your journey goes amazingly well these next couple of months. And I would really love for your message to reach a larger audience because it's so important. So thank you.
It's important, and they'll listen to you. So we appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I want everybody to have a blessed week. Take heed, and we will see you in 2 weeks, Emmanuel?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. We'll be back. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right.
All right.